Welcome to Leaders Legacy. I'm your host, Varsha Sarkar, and our today's episode is titled The Art of Narrating Your Personal Brand. Our guest for today is our very own Naveen Bharadwaj, who is the Group CEO of Trescon. Naveen is an exceptional leader with over 15 years of experience in divisional leadership, strategic partnership, new market or business development, field marketing, and full cycle event production and management. When he's not busy being a CEO, Naveen is also a certified yoga teacher and aspires to be a motivational speaker. Welcome to Leaders Legacy, Naveen.
Namaste, and thank you for having me here, Usha.
Amazing. So, Naveen, could you tell me, since you have headed so many companies in the past, how did you design your personal brand narrative in such a way that it meets the needs and aspiration of your ideal customer?
Well, I think it's in three parts, and those three parts were beautifully summarized in your introduction, right?
Yeah.
One is my professional background. Second is the fact that I'm into yoga, and third is I aspire to be a motivational speaker, which I already do at some capacity, but at some point that might become my mainstream. So, from a business standpoint, those experiences are again it's a combination of your personality, the traits that you carry, things that are innate to you, and the skills that you've developed over the course of how many ever years of experience that you have. So in my case, that's a little over 15 years. In a lot of others' case, it could be 5 years, 10 years, 20 years, or so on and so forth. Yoga is something very passionate thing for me because mind wellness and physical wellness is absolutely crucial in today's world because we all live in an age where technology is so intertwined with our day-to-day lives and we are busy all throughout from the time we wake up to the time we go to bed. So it's important that we stop, we check, and we make sure that mentally and physically we are ready for tomorrow, which would be the next best day of your life, right? And
Those, yeah.
thirdly, the motivation piece, because this is our way of giving back to the society, be it in your professional settings or just generally in a societal setting, because not everybody is fortunate enough to be positive by nature, to be optimistic. Not
Yes.
everybody has the experience, not everybody has the exposure, but everybody can actually get better, do better. Everybody can succeed in their lives. Not everybody
Mhm.
is coming with silver spoons, right? So people like me,
Right.
people like our founder Salim, and a bunch of other colleagues, we all come from very humble beginnings. We all come from backgrounds where we lived in a single bedroom or a single room
Mhm.
houses. We struggled to pay our school bills. We wore the same clothes pretty much the
Yeah.
entire school year, so on and so forth, right? But we've made it bigger than what most others have. So to be able to convey this message to the world and to inspire a few
Mm.
people is one way of giving back to the society. So piecing now these three different parts, my professional background,
Mhm.
health and wellness, and the giving back to society through speaking, through hosting events, through delivering a few motivational lectures in schools and colleges, which I do quite often in different parts of India, although I'm based in the UAE.
Mhm.
These three things coming together also helps convey the narrative or convey the priorities of our
Mm.
business. Because
Right.
as Trescon, as a business, we are driven, we are ethical, we are a bunch of passionate people. We are here to make a huge change in the world. We help companies penetrate new markets. We help companies raise capital. We help communities come together. We make conversations happen. And ultimately, we connect businesses with opportunities. But
Right.
we prioritize ourselves, we prioritize our people, and giving back to the society, that social impact is absolutely crucial. You see?
Mhm.
So the personal brand and the professional brand or the professional image can now nicely be interwoven. Because at the
Yes.
end of the day, people interact with people, right? When somebody is speaking to Trescon or when somebody is
Yeah.
speaking to Demandify, they're not talking to the company, they're talking to a
Mm.
representative of the company.
Yeah.
So who you are and the type of discussions they have with you, the background that you have, the experiences that you bring to the table is how they perceive your brand.
Right.
And as leaders, particularly more important as leaders, because you are more publicly visible, you are
Mm.
more accessible, you're more seen by the world. There are more engagement with you, higher level conversations. So it's important that one, yes, you focus on your personal brand, but that genuineness, that legitimacy, and that real you comes out sometimes raw, and sometimes a bit polished. And
Mm-hmm.
secondly, all of those are also aligned with your company's values, the impact
Yes.
that your company or the business wants to create, and the space that you are in.
Mm-hmm.
That I think helps your customers perceive the business that you are in, the value that they can get, the impact you're able to leave on them, and how you can actually help expand their business or
Mm-hmm.
propel their growth, which is ultimately the objective of their interaction or engagement
Right.
with you.
Definitely. Naveen, we know that, for most people, stories are a way that people can truly connect with a brand or person. So, in your experience, have you ever delved into storytelling techniques to create content that becomes more shareable and more engaging?
Yes, absolutely. Again, from a personal standpoint, if you take a look at my LinkedIn profile, in the About Me section, the first note is actually not so much about what I currently do. It's
Right.
actually all about what has made me become who I am today. And then the journey starts from as young as I was 14, and the
Mhm.
different odd jobs that I did, the different event management and roadside promotions that I did without hesitating, doing things
Right.
for 50 rupees, 500 rupees, 5,000 rupees, regardless of the size, right?
Yeah.
That has shaped me in becoming who I am today. And this is from a personal standpoint. Similarly, from a professional standpoint, also, from a business standpoint, also, storytelling techniques actually work. Of course, as long as you have a credible, compelling story, as long as your story is A, unique, B, impactful, I think the world wants to hear about it. Let's take the case of
Mm.
Trescon, right? Trescon was started by three folks. Mohammed Salim, Mithun Shetty, Swarna Roy, really good friends of mine,
Mhm.
ex-colleagues. We all worked together. They moved on at some point because wherever they were at, they felt that they had reached the ceiling. There are a
Right.
lot of new ideas. There's novelty that they want to bring. There's new creative
Mhm.
thinking, design thinking, which they were unable to implement in that other space they were in. They
Right.
came out, started the business 2016. And towards the end of 2016, being a startup, Trescon had the opportunity to run the World Startup Expo, which was Asia's biggest
Wow,
startup
that's
event. Now, can
amazing.
you imagine a startup running the largest startup expo?
Yeah, yeah, that's really good one.
And from there on, going to host events in 15 to 20 different countries around the world, in Asia, in Middle East, in Africa, in Europe, in North America, to have 200 plus employees, four offices now in India, Bangalore, Manipal, Pune,
Mm.
here in Dubai, having a lot of other partner offices and satellite offices in other parts of the world. You see, there's a beautiful story for the business because a few people believed, a few people were passionate, and they knew that they could do better and different and create a massive impact. The business beautifully flourished. And now we're
Right.
fortunate enough to be working with governments from around the world. Government of UAE entrusts us for the work that we do for them. Government of India. You talked about the storytelling piece. There's an event that we actually
Mm-hmm.
worked on, and I will talk about
Yeah.
that later on during this discussion. Right?
Yeah.
We've done stuff for the government of Mauritius and so many more.
Mm-hmm.
What actually got them all hooked onto us? Of course, our capabilities, but our story, where we've come from and where we aspire to get to, and
Right.
conveying that story in a way that it's, again, genuine plus relevant and appealing for them has really worked for us. Now, this is, again, from a 30,000 feet business view, right? But when it comes to
Mm-hmm.
products as well, when we write campaigns to potential customers, if we focus on what's in it for them
Right.
individually, and then as a department, and then as a business, piece that through storytelling. And if somebody is doing campaigns, how can they do 4 part, 6 part, 8 part campaigns and use those campaigns across multiple different channels and appeal to people, speak to people, not the computers?
Mm-hmm.
You're better off in getting responses and leaving a mark on people's mind and getting responses from them so you can build your business.
Right. Definitely. Naveen, what do you think? Can your personal brand story be integrated into compelling call to action in order to engage your audience?
Yeah, I think it's a combination of everything that I talked about, right? So my response for your first two questions pretty much sums that up because
Mm-hmm.
people do business with people.
Yes.
Company is more like a group or a community or an institution where a bunch of different people have come together, right?
Mm-hmm.
Now, companies' credentials are crucial. Companies' experience, company's history, company's track record, company's background is all super important, but also equally important is the person that a
Hmm.
potential customer is engaging with, that
Right.
human touch, that human element, and the personal background of that individual that they're speaking to can also actually help get more business, can help supplement additional things, can help augment or scale the business. So having that liberty to mix a bit of our personal and professional backgrounds, experiences,
Hmm.
passions, and aspirations, as long as there's a safe boundary that we've drawn and we're not going too far away,
Yeah.
definitely helps.
That brings me to my next question. Naveen, what was the most creative and successful marketing campaign that you have run till date?
Well, I've run a lot of different campaigns in my past life and here at Trescon. Trescon as well, before me and after me, we've run a lot of different campaigns because at the end of the day, we are in the business of business events, right? We're here to help the world embrace emerging technologies in a sustainable and inclusive manner. We run a lot of different events. We help companies penetrate into new markets. We help raise capital, facilitating investments, so on and so forth. So pretty much everything we do has campaigns as enablers of the work that we do. But one campaign that I'm fond of, again, I wouldn't get into the success of the campaign or not because different
Mhm.
companies have different metrics to measure the
Yeah.
success or to define success because that's very subjective. But at least from an external standpoint, from the feedback that we received from the market standpoint, one of the campaigns that we ran, your question ended with, what's the campaign that we've done till date, right?
Yes.
Date is one of the most successful
Oh,
marketing campaigns that we ran. So
right.
last year in India, we launched an event called as Date, which is
Mm-hmm.
Digital Acceleration and Transformation Expo. So the
Yeah.
day we chose to launch Date was 14th. It's a bit cheeky, right? Valentine's Day, you're taking your date out. So we said,
Uh-huh.
hey, here's your date. Your date has arrived. And the
Right.
event took place 9 months later. That was in November. We had the Minister of IT, the Minister of Finance, people from lots of members of the parliament, lots of different
Mm-hmm.
royalty. So till from the time we launched up until the event and even after, the type of messaging, the type of campaigns we ran, the type of campaigns the community ran, and the response we got for that was simply phenomenal. DATE stands for Digital Acceleration and Transformation Expo. The acronym is DATE, right?
Right.
In the tech space, there's so much happening. AI, blockchain, cloud, cyber, data, esports, ESG, fintech, metaverse, IoT. The list keeps going
Mm-hmm.
super long. So we tried consolidating all of that under one umbrella and launched this product for India. But another
Mm-hmm.
reason why we launched it in India is because we travel around the world and we see there are a lot of countries without big, massive technology ecosystem actually running
Mm-hmm.
large tech events with not tens of thousands of people, but hundreds of thousands of people. And
Mm-hmm.
unfortunately, we don't have any such event in India. So we wanted to launch soft launch date last year, 2023. We
Mm-hmm.
had about 8,000 plus registrations, but we soft launched it last year because in its next edition, which was originally planned for September 2024, but we are now planning to do it during the first half of 2025 to allow ourselves more time to prepare. We launched it keeping in mind that it has to become one of the largest and most impactful technology gatherings that India has ever seen, and for it to then become either an annual affair or a once in 2 years affair. So if you just type date and if you see the way media covered, the way social media campaigns were running, the testimonials and what people have been talking about, people just fell in
Yeah.
love. And I
Right.
think it's also got to do with the name of the event, which
Of
is
course.
date. You
Yeah,
you
it's
have to
very
love the date.
shareable. Yeah.
Yeah.
Definitely. Which brings me to my last question. People say that customer is king. So, have you ever leveraged customer feedback and testimonial to enhance your brand story?
Yes, but before I could give you more about that, I also want to change the way we've been saying this customer is a king line, right? Because now you see that there's a lot of conversations around equality and inclusivity. So I think we
Mm-hmm.
should start telling customer is supreme or customer is king and queen as opposed to singling it out as
Oh,
customer is the
yeah,
king,
yeah.
right? But that's a discussion for another time. But keeping that customer is a king and queen line as the center
Mm-hmm.
premise, yes, testimonials do help, regardless of which industry vertical you're in. Because one of the oldest and the best till date way or campaign or channels that companies develop business is word of mouth
Mm-hmm.
and testimonials. It's the
Mm-hmm.
work that you have done for somebody else. If you've done an awesome work for somebody else, they might give you a testimonial written or video or whatever other format, or they might talk about you to others within their network who might end up becoming your customers. Now, that too is
Right.
a testimony, right? So that word
Yeah.
of mouth is also a testimonial. So firstly, if we can capture the real emotions, the
Mm-hmm.
happy, satisfied, contentful emotions of your customers, for which you need to make sure that you have sold them right and you have
Yes.
delivered them more value than what was committed. If
Mm-hmm.
you're able to capture that testimonial and then use it to your advantage, of course, your business stands to gain. Plus,
Right.
if you've built a rapport with the customer and if you're able to, in a very, positive way, nudge them to talk good about you, which I
Mm-hmm.
think they will, because if you've done something amazing for them and if they believe in your abilities, in your business's
Mm-hmm.
abilities, they will talk good about you to their other
Yes,
people.
definitely.
All of it, the collective of all of this will bring you more business, or at least it'll
Mm-hmm.
bring you more conversations,
Yeah.
which you will then engage, develop, and that would become more business opportunities. You'll see that you could be a retail outlet, you could be a mall, you could be an e-commerce site, you're a bank.
Mm-hmm.
Today, the level of importance and significance they place on customer testimonials, customer rating is simply phenomenal.
Right.
10, 15, 20 years ago, technology adoption was not as massive as it is today.
Yes.
Penetration of internet was not as massive as today. Social media consumption was not as massive as today.
Mm.
Pretty much, I wouldn't say the whole world, but a large portion of the world checks, verifies, looks for reviews, reads
Yeah.
testimonials before they engage, right? You want to buy something on Flipkart, you actually read the reviews. You want
Yes.
to go watch a movie, you read reviews. You want to go have food somewhere, you read reviews. You want to invest in something, you look at what customers are
Mm.
talking. So pretty much everything you do today is research backed and you're looking for reviews, which is again testimonial, right? A
Yeah.
simple review left on your social media page or on your website or on e-commerce portal is also a testimonial. Now,
Mm-hmm.
testimonials don't just mean it's always good, right? You will also end up getting bad testimonials, in which case you've got to work hard in bringing that brand value back, or in making
Yeah.
sure that you reach out to those customers, you understand from them what led to possible negative experiences, or why is it that
Mm-hmm.
they may not be as happy as you'd want them to be. So use the positive to build business, use the negative to correct the way you're running a
Right.
business. So
Yeah, that's very
testimonial
important.
is key.
Right. Thank you so much, Naveen, again for joining us. Your views were very insightful and helpful, and you gave us a bit of a glimpse into the B2B events industry. I heartily thank you for that. So, this concludes today's episode of Leaders Legacy. If you have liked it, please do subscribe to our channel. Until next time. Thank you again.